Only a few of the refugees wanted to go back to their homes. Everyone else streamed to the sea in trains and trucks. People knew what they wanted. I had just one wish: to return to my parents. As I was being carried forward, a hand touched me, and when I didn't react, the hand shook me again. I didn't want to answer, but the pulling disturbed me, and so I said, without opening my eyes, "Leave me alone, I want to sleep." "You mustn't sleep for such a long time." "My weariness isn't done, leave me alone." The man went away, but then he came back and prodded me again. My sleep was no longer deep, and I felt the man's determination to draw me out of it, no matter what. I opened my eyes and was surprised to see that the man, on his knees and wearing glasses, looked like my Uncle Arthur. I knew he wasn't Arthur, but still I was glad to see him. "What are you doing here?" he asked softly. "I came with the refugees." "From where?" He stretched his neck toward me. I couldn't answer that. The places where we had stopped slipped past me without leaving a trace. The man stared at me and asked if I wanted something to eat. I was about to say, "A cup of cocoa," but I realized that would be a foolish request. Only at home, at breakfast, and toward evening at supper would Mother make me a cup of cocoa. "I'll bring you a sandwich and a glass of milk," the man said. Without waiting for my response, he went off to get it for me. I wondered about the man who resembled my Uncle Arthur, not only in his build and face, but also in his movements, and I decided to ask him whether he was a communist too, like my uncle. He came back with a tray of food. "Thank you," I said. Since I had left the house, years earlier, no one had served me food on a tray. "Hearty appetite," said the man, another term I hadn't heard since the war broke out. I ate. The more I ate, the more my appetite grew, and I finished it all. The man watched without disturbing me. Finally, he asked my name. I told him. "What do you want to do?" he asked. "Sleep," I said. "I'll leave you alone," he replied, and went away. I was by myself again, and I felt relieved. After the war, it was hard for me to be with people. Sleep was right for me. In sleep, I lived fully. I needed that fullness, like I needed air to breathe. Sometimes a dream floated up and threatened me. The next day, the man who looked like Uncle Arthur came back and knelt beside me. Again, the resemblance stunned me. He asked whether I had slept well, and I said yes. I didn't hold my tongue and asked whether he knew a man named Arthur Bloom. "No," he answered curtly. "You look like him. He's my uncle." The man asked my age, and I told him. "I'm 16 years and 9 months old." "What do you want to do now?" he asked, as if he were a relative and not a stranger. "I don't know yet." That night, I woke up and found a tray of fruit and a note. The note said, "Hello, my young friend. Tonight I'm leaving the camp and setting out. I wish you a fine awakening and a life of alertness, activity, and the ability to love." The note was signed, "Your friend, who looks like your Uncle Arthur." I read it again and again, and tears flowed from my eyes. 2. I overcame the bonds of sleep and rose to my feet. The sea was already glowing. The grown-up refugees bathed in it, and a few swam. The sight was stunning in its strangeness. My desire to return to slumber didn't fade, but the strong light, the bare shore, left me with no doubt that here one doesn't sleep during the daytime. I didn't see a shade tree nearby, or an awning, so I went back to my tree, closed my eyes, and waited for the night to enfold me and return me to the recesses of sleep. Toward evening, hunger woke me up.